I updated this recently because of the recent updates from the Linera core team, and I did it immediately. Yeah. So start from the state. So let me just start from the state. So these are all the states. The states.rs that contains all the states variables, right, and the strut and all. And you can see that this is again config whenever I want to deploy or create an application ID for Roxy. I just need to like provide all these informations, and all this information aligns to what the smart contract is all about. And you can see all the struts on struts for the market, the player position, the player, the leaderboard entry, the guide leaderboard entry, the achievements, the achievement requirements, the enums, the price outcome, the prediction period, the player prediction, the market price, the periodic price data, the prediction market states, the global player info. So now what I did about Roxy is before that is on the first wave, it was a single chain. So I took my time to make Roxy horizontal because I attended the last developer meetup or developer call where Matthew spoke about how can to build an application that is going to be horizontal. You get, so in this case now every player has his own microchain, and this is how I actually did it. And to be honest, everything is working perfectly. So I created a global so that whenever player information, whenever a player is into the game or register into the game, every player on their own microchain will have the same information that a certain player has been registered into the game. So it goes with the market info, it goes with the guide info, and this is where these are all the cross-chain message. You can see it here, cross-chain message for horizontal scaling, and this is just for the local, that is for like same chain, but I also added a cross-chain message for the horizontal scaling. We can see the chain IDs, or yeah, cool. So this is for the state. So let's go into the libs. So libs is just like an interface whereby you take the function signature of all the function that you want or is public. Yeah, so these are all the functions that are public: register player, update profile, claim daily rewards, create market, buy shares, sell shares, mint points, create guide, join guide, leave guide, contribute to guide, update game config, predict daily outcome, predict weekly outcome, predict monthly outcome, update market price. These are all the interface for the external functions. Yeah, so cool. So let's go to the service. So service are basically where all the read only function are, that is querying the chain. So you can see that I started doing this. This is where I start. Total supply, I'm getting the total supply, the player total points, the guide total points, and all guides, guide members, players, and the markets, get daily outcome, get weekly outcome, get monthly outcome, get leaderboard, global players, global market. So these are basically all the read-only functions that queries the chain or the blockchain, the Linera blockchain. And yeah, so this is exactly what this particular file service.rs does. So we are going to the contract level. So this is contract.rs, and you can see I did a lot of imports here, and this is error handling of the game Roxy, and this is what handles the message and creating an instance of the game config, right? So the coolest, let me explain this, right? So because of the setting function needs admin roles, what happened here is that I need to pass in the admin role. You can check the let me check the states for you guys. Let me see. Yeah, you can see that this admin role. Yeah, so whenever I want to deploy, I can pass it, hand code it, or I can just take automatically use this call authenticated signer. That is the person that deploys. The address of the person that deploys will be replaced at this particular point. So yeah, so that is it. So this is where I actually set up everything, all the configs, all the game configs, and yeah. So so I actually initialize the leaderboard broadcasting tracking. This will like to track all the state changes whenever the game is being played, the each players getting their points, their ranks on the leaderboard, and this is what I did. Yeah. So execute operation. So what happened in this execute operation is to call all the functions. It gives this is a mechanism whereby each of these external functions will be executed, right? So if you can check the libs, you can see that these are all the external function here, and you can see that all this function here is being consumed on the operation. So yeah, so this is exactly what is basically doing. So these are all the messages. So these are like events, right? Execute message. So these are all the events whenever a certain function are being called and all. So it emit an event for each chain. So it's basically how will I call it? Horizontal. So whenever an event happen in the main chain, all micro chain will be updated. So this is it. So as it starts from here, message global market creation. This is like whenever you create a market, everybody or every player will see that a certain player has created a market. And it goes continue market info, he continues player registered, he continues player info, player updated, it continues and keep on continuing, like you can now reach up to here. Only update if incoming data is new. So in this case now I try to avoid complexity and or conflicts, time-based conflict resolution. So whenever a new data is coming in, it process it, and whenever a new or old data is coming, again, it doesn't process it. This is like to handle to optimize the system, because you had the thought that a lot of people is going to interact with the game. So I was trying to like think about the ways to optimize the system, and yeah, cool stuff. So let's just jump. Global guide created and global guide info. These are all the messages that is going to happen whenever these functions are being called, and I'm going to show you guys where it's updated and on the functions that actually consume this. So this is a chain register. So this basically get the chain ID of every player that interacts with Roxy, and gets it and installs it on state. And what? So whenever a message is being executed, every chain ID that is being stored will receive that same message on runtime. So yeah, so good. So now this is like the core game logic implementation. So let's start. So now basically these are the like constants, leaderboard time threshold macros. So in my case, what I'm trying to do is whenever a player is like registering, playing the game, sorry, whenever a player is playing the game and they're getting points, they're getting rewards from point-based rewards. For every 30 seconds, the leaderboard is being updated. It is searched through every player. If the player have played and if the player has a point, it searched through them. If they're higher than a certain player, it search through them, gets those players that are higher than certain players, and update it every 30 seconds, right? So that is like to create optimization instead of continuously searching through, right? So it's giving the system a rest time. Then whenever 30-second reach, it search through, updates the leaderboard, and continuously like that. So this is like initialize achievement. So this function initialize the achievement system with predefined achievements. So this is like every process, every level a player reaches, or every landmark a player reaches, he has an achievement. So you can say whenever you create a market, you have this achievement. Whenever you make your first buy, you have this achievement. Whenever you make your first sales, you have this achievement. If you join a guild, you have this achievement. If you reach level 2, you have this achievement, and this level continues, right? So exactly, so cool. I'm still like trying to make it in an optimized way also, so I'm still working at that. So the first function here, register a new player in prediction markets game, right? So this is just to register the players in the prediction markets game. So you can see that this is to check if the player has been registered. So you get the players from the get config, state config. You get now whenever a player is being registered, right? It has an initial token. And let's check for states. I think we need to work hand to hand with state. You can see it has an initial token of what? 100, right? That is initial point of 100. So this player is going to have a point of 100 whenever you register, and we update all the struts, the player struts. You can let's look for the player. You update all the player struts and insert it to state. And what happens? You update the total supply, that is initial token, cutting from the player, and set the total supply. Sorry, and set the total supply, and this is where we broadcast it to every micro chain for every chain ID of every player that is being registered in this game. So we broadcast it globally, right? So broadcast player ID and the display name, right? So everybody will see that certain player has registered to the game in Roxy. So players can actually update their profiles. So this is a function that updates player profiles, the player ID player ID and display name. Yeah, we get the player ID, but we can actually only update what the display name. Yeah, you can change your display name. That is basically what this particular function does. So claim daily reward. So claim whenever you coming into Roxy every 24 hours of last time you came in, you're going to have a point, right? So let's check our states. You can see now anytime you log in for every 24 hours, you're going to be given 10 points, right? So this gives people to ways to like gather more points to participate in the market. So this is exactly what this function does, and this is a cool functions. Create market, right? Create a new points trading market. So this is where players can trade their points, buy points, and do a lot of cool stuff, right? Create a new point trading market. Market creator must be level 5. So if you want to be a market creator, you need to reach level 5 and have 10,000 points. Only player at level 5 or higher with at least 10,000 points can create markets. Market creation costs are configured already. You can see market creation costs are configured here at the state 100. Creator can set their own fee percentage, so it's very dynamic in the sense that you can set your own fee percentage. You guys, so it's not like a constant on Roxy. So it's giving opportunity for players whenever you want to create a market and you're in level 5 and you have 10,000 points, then you can actually create your own fee percentage, right? So there's a lot of cool stuff. So yeah, let's do this again. So we get if the player has registered, we check if the player is at level 5, we check if the player has 10,000 points, we get the gate config from states, the game config from states. So we get market creation cost from states. That is what we did here, and validate it for percentage. We always check if the percentage reach 100, must not exceed 100%. The third creation cost from player, this is what happens. Update reputation for creating a market. So whenever you have you create a market, you're going to be given a reputation score. Yeah, so we want to now distribute market creation fee to platform. So whenever you create a market, we are also going to take fees from the platform, right? So the cool thing is whenever they create a market of using the 100 points, the 100 points is being sent to the creator, the whole point. So this is where we get the market ID, the title, and we update the struts, right? We set it on states, insert it on states, update the creator active markets. This is what we did. Check for achievements after creating markets. Now the achievement will be given when you create markets. These achievements, creator markets creator, the first achievement will be given to the player, and yeah. So you prepare the message. So what happened here is it prepares the message, that is the market, the executed message above. Let's see this market ID. Yeah, market ID and the creator. This is the message. In terms of message, then you broadcast it to all chains, right? The market ID, the creator, and the title of the markets. So cool. That was the description basically. So buy points from markets, allow players to buy points from active markets with level-based progressive exchange rates. You get market creator receive fees based on their choosing fee percentage. Exchange rate scaling with player level. Level 1, you pay 10 points to get 100 points. You pay 100 points to get 1,000 points. So on and so forth. So it's like a logarithm flow. Uh, so this is it. Checks if the player has registered, get the specific market to buy from, check the status of the market, check if the market has enough liquidity. And this is where it calculates payment based on progressive exchange, work for all level 1 to infinity. Exchange rate is always 10 to ratio 1, pay 10 to get receive 100, and this continuous. Like a logarithm, and um, that is log n that is log raised to the power of n, so the level continues infinity. And yeah, so this is it. Calculates fee based on market fee percentage, and this is what happens. Ensure player has enough to pay, to check if the player has enough balance. Player pays base payments plus fee. You pay your payments, your base payments plus the fee, and the player receives the points from the market, transfers market liquidity to player. This is what happens here. Distributes trading fee. Now in this case, now the creator is going to get the fee, then we as percentage is going to get 2% from that crate from the fee, right? So this is like Roxy is actually getting back points from different activities that are happening, and the players are also getting points also from different activities that is happening. So it distributes the fee portion. Creator 8198, platform get 2%, updates market liquidity, updates the player position, and updates reputation for buy shares. Also, then updates check if that this is to check the achievement, because if it's your first buy, it checks, and whenever if it's your first buy, it rewards you an achievement badge. If it's your second buy, it won't. So this is basically what happens. Then prepare the message, and yeah, that is cool. So for now, I didn't really make the buy shares and the sell shares to be micro chains, so you can actually buy points and other chains will know that you got points, right? So I just made it very for everybody to have their own messages, right? So I didn't make it a global message or a horizontal message when you're interacting with buy shares and sell shares. Same thing, same mechanism with sell points. Allow players. So if you want to sell your points in a market, right? And you want to sell your points in the market, you basically need to be in level 5 to sell your points to a specific market, right? Market creator receive base fees and on their choosing percentage. So these are just cool things. So it's just basically a player can sell his points, right, to get XP, right? So whenever you sell your points, you get what? XP, right? If you want more XPs, right? So means this is an admin row function to mint more points. In the case that what if we have like a lot of players out there, so we can literally just mint points and to do a lot of cool things, or maybe reward players based on points, okay? And yeah, so that is basically it. And create guide. So creating guide is allow players to form a social group for collaborative gameplay. So you can actually be in a group and be performing, interacting with Roxy, and it allows players to join. This is basically what happens. It allows players to leave a certain group, and this particular function allows players to what contribute tokens collectively for a particular prediction, right? So and update game config. So the leaderboard, like simplified prediction market. So now the cool thing is now this is the leaderboard, and leaderboard is being handled properly to get every changes that is happening based on points collections, and yeah. So these are all internal functions. Distribute market creation for fee for market creation fee to platforms, and these are all internal functions that handle some cases of fee distribution and all. And this is just internal, not a query function. It is just to get the player ID on the smart contract level for certain uses in the smart contract or in the contract.rs. And yeah, so cool. So let's use the fastware function to check if you have achievements, and yeah, achievement requirements is also an internal function that check achievements whenever these levels are being reached. So now the cool thing. So basically, Roxy, this is the first part of Roxy markets, right? Where you can trade your points, get points, create markets, and all. But now the main one of the second part of Roxy, because there is going to be a lot of parts of Roxy. There's going to be real time esports prediction that is coming up on Roxy. There's going to be a lot of prediction markets that is coming into Roxy as a game flow. But currently now we are on price prediction, right? And yeah, we are going to start from prediction. So this is the first gameplay. The After the market. Okay, let's say the second gameplay. Yeah, the second gameplay after the market. So let's break it down. Yeah, with from the doc. Price prediction model predict the price of real asset market price from crypto price API providers like CoinMarketCap, CoinGator, and or etc. So the player can predict if the market will rise or fall daily, weekly, and monthly, and endpoint tokens based on the accuracy of the prediction. Important, all price comparison uses data from crypto API providers. Admin calls the update markets price with price from crypto API, initial price to capture from crypto API with period start, and price is captured from crypto API when period ends. Player prediction is compared against actual outcome from crypto API price changes. Now, the outcome will depend on the changes of the crypto API from rise, fall, and neutral. So when the end price is greater than the initial price, then definitely the crypto price increase from initial. When it's less than, the crypto price decrease from initial. When it's equal to, the crypto price stay the same as initial. So make a daily prediction for market price movements. The player predicts if the market price will rise, fall, and stay neutral over the next 24 hours or months or weekly. So yeah. So this function is basically it. So predict daily. This function is to predict, allow players to predict for 24 hours. When 24 hours happens, the outcomes uh, will be indicated, or it will be compared, and the result is going to come up. So basically, this is the function used for it. You check, calculate the current day. You check if the player already has a prediction for this period, and so it creates the market prediction, update the player prediction struct, store the prediction, update the repetition. You get repetition. Now initialize period price data if it doesn't exist. You get it. Now capture the initial market price from the crypto API when the period starts. So this is basically to capture it, right? To keep the price. Now this price comes from the crypto API provider like CoinMarketCap, etc. That is the update market price function must be called by the admin. So what we are trying to do here now, we won't be manually calling this update market price basically. So we are going to create an AI agent that is automatically going to call this market price every day, every 24 hours, or maybe we can make it in a way that it's going to call it every hour, because certain players can play in different time frame. So we can just make it in that type of way to make it very easy and usable, right, and dynamic. So yeah, this is to calculate 24 hours and get that is to get the initial crypto price at the period starts, that is initial, we set from the crypto API when ends, and yeah, broadcast the message. This is also the same function, that nothing changed for weekly. Only what changed is the weekly. So it does the calculation based on weekly. This is where it just for 7 days, and for monthly, and it's just still the same function, but some things change here for monthly. And yeah, so update market price. So this basically updates the current market price from crypto price API providers. This function is called by an admin to update the market price. So what we are going to use, we're going to have access to CoinMarketCap, getting their current price for a lot of crypto market, and yeah, for a lot of crypto markets, and you predict if the market is going to go high or low and all this stuff. So this is going to basically called by an admin, but this admin is going to be an AI agent. It won't be manual, but it's going to be dynamic. So yeah, just want to let you guys know. And these are all helper functions that we use and all. So basic now to resolve prediction by comparing it to the actual outcome. So this function is basically to resolve the prediction if the market is was high, low, or neutral. So this function really handled every single stuff. And you can see calculate outcome from price. Let's go to calculate outcome from price. You can see the outcome rise, fall, and neutral. Now you calculate the outcome based on price changes from the crypto API, and this is basically what this does, right? So you get the price, the initial, and the end price, and compare them if there's any slight changes or any changes that happen on the price. So this is also an internal function to check resolve all expired prediction when market is updated, and so this is also a cool function to resolve the market. So now award rewards to players for a correct prediction. So whenever you have a correct prediction, players for daily we have 100 points, for weekly 500, for monthly 1000, right? So this is the function that handles all this, and whenever you're being rewarded, you're also going to have an XP. You're going to be rewarded an XP daily 50, weekly 250, monthly 500, right? So this is like cool stuff. And you update the leaderboard, and broadcast the message to all the players. That is basically all the players on their own micro chain that is interacting with Roxy. So whenever you have a wrong prediction, penalize the player for wrong prediction, you're going to be deducted 100, 500, and 1000. So it's just the opposite of awarding, right? So this is basically what you just did. And award guild prediction reward. So this is also, so whenever you come into the market as a group, we are also going to reward you guys all together. If you guys predict on daily, you're going to have 100 points each. If you predict weekly, you're going to have 500 points each. Monthly, 1000 points each. And it also goes to the penalized guild prediction loss. Guys are going to lose 100, 500, and 1000, but respectively to the time frame that is daily, weekly, and monthly. So yeah. So this is basically where I handle the cross-chain broadcasting functions. That is horizontal scaling, whereby every player on the microchain will have updates about every information that are happening, and so this is the function that they wrote, and broadcast to all chain. So broadcast a message to all chain that has the application. This implements proper cross-chain messaging across Linera architecture. So I really went low to study Linera architecture to understand how is this done, because initially I was thinking that it's just like a normal smart contract that is just like a single chain that interacts, everybody interacts, or is being congested, everybody's interacting. But when I sat down and studied Linera architecture, I really understood that every player has his own microchain. So how can I update every player with the same events, right, that is happening on the game? So I just thought about this, and I came up with this idea. And so this function basically get the chain ID of the player, you notify the player, and this is where it updates it. It checks every chain ID, and it sends the message to each subscribe chain. So whenever you register, or whenever you come into Roxy, you're being subscribed already. Use the WIT authentication and the WIT tracking for reliable delivery, and this is what I did. And same thing goes with the broadcast global player registration. Broadcast player registration, same thing I did. And you can say this is an internal function basically. This is an internal function. So broadcast global player registered. So this broadcast this allow all chains to maintain a global registry of players, right? So whenever a player is being registered, it's going to be broadcast to all microchain. And same thing with the markets, when market is being created, when someone joined a guild, and when broadcast global player updates, whenever an update is happening, and for price to now broadcast global price updates, whenever that price is being updated, every player in their own microchain will see this price. It's been updated. Now updates global leaderboard by aggregating data for all chains. So now we are getting the whole data from all microchain and we're aggregating it on the leaderboard. So what happened here is so what happened here is so what I did here was to make this leaderboard to be periodically, you get, so periodically, and I explained earlier that it updates every 30 seconds whenever there's a cap of 10 players that made state changes or get points. It's going to iterate through all the players uh, and check if 10 players have has like, let me see, points, then you update the leaderboard. This is just basically to maintain scalability on the game. So yeah, so to avoid stall datas, to avoid a lot of crazy stuff, right? So this is what happens. Now I check if we should broadcast leaderboard update based on time or updates count. So this is just like an internal function that works around. So we don't broadcast global leaderboard to all chain for horizontal scaling. And yeah, this is exactly what we did. And yeah, cool. So let me go to the test. So this is the test, right? So this is like a lot of tests that test the unit testing. Actually, I'll call it integration testing. And this is all the tests. And this cool thing I added again was force testing. So I added the property testing for a lot of things. So let me just show you the terminal. So this is the test. All the tests here has passed. You can see force testing, basically force underscore test rs is where we have 13 tests and everything has passed. You can see all the test cases has passed. We have integration tests. You can see there's 50 test cases here and everything here has passed. Let's just do a quick build, cargo build. Let's say, yeah, everything is okay. Cargo build is okay and the test is okay. So this is everything about Roxy. Let's check the Docker file, and this is the Docker file, and you can follow up with the commands. So you can follow up this quick start. I think this quick start is going to help on how to run the Docker, and yeah, and also the run.bash. Everything is okay, and yeah. So thank you for this.